Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Imaginary Engineering. This is Kirti. In this video, we are going to build authentication app from scratch. You will learn a lot, so don't miss any part. First, I will show you the topics we will cover. So first, we will create our Express server. Then we will see how we can install the Postman client setup for the API testing. Then we will set up the Express and middleware. Then we will see what is the model view controller. Then we set up the MongoDB, so our application connect with our database. Then we will see the EJS template engine to create a HTML template. Then we will see the protected route, so only authenticated user will able to access the page. Then we will see the user authentication, sign up, registration. Then we will see how we can do the password hashing and compare. Then we will see the JWT token, sign in, verify. Then to render the error message, we will use the flash messages using this connect flash module. Before we start, I will show you the application so you will get an idea. This is our sign up page where we enter the username, email and password and generate a token, and if it is validate, then we will redirect to our home page. We can see username and email. If I show you in database, here we have the auth demo. Inside that our user has been created and password stored in hash. Now we will go to our login page. Enter the email. Let me add the incorrect email which is not present in our database. Submit. Here you can see the user not found message. Then I will enter the correct email and password. Click on submit. We are able to log in successfully. Now I am enter the wrong password. Here you can see the message invalid credentials. So let's start. We'll go to our VS Code. Here I have the empty folder. First we'll generate our package.json file. Run the command npm init-y. Here you can see our file has been generated. Now next we need the Express. So let me install npm i express. It will take some time. Now under dependency you can see our Express and its version. Next I will install the node.js. So whenever we made any changes, so server will restart. I will provide the tag of flag -d. So we will add as a install the node.js as a dev dependency. In production we don't need it. So next I will create one file index.js. We'll go to our package.json and add a script for start. I will say start node.js, file name here index. Now let's go to our index.js. First we will create the Express server, so let's require the Express. Then I will define one variable app and call the Express. Then we'll define the port. So let me create a .env file first. And inside that .env I will pass the port 5001. We'll go back and we read the port from the .env file. So we will say process.env.port. If we can't find that port in .env, then the port will be 5000. Now our app is listening on port 5000. So here we pass our port number and one callback function. I will simply console log that port. We'll say app is running on port. Now if I go and start the server, npm start. Now here you can see our app is running on 5000, but it's not able to read that port from the .env file. So for that we need to install one package .env. So let me install it, npm i.env. Then we will require that .env model. And we will call the config method. Now here you can see app is running on 5001, which is the value we have passed in our .env file. Now then we'll add one method, app.get, and pass the endpoint URL. Then callback function request response, and then we simply return the response, JSON response. I will pass one message. Let's say hello. To test our APIs, I have installed the Postman here extension here. You can go to the extension and search for the Postman. Here you can find this Postman extension. I have already installed. I will go and click on the HTTP request. Here we can provide the URL, HTTP localhost 5001. Our app is running on the port 5001. Now I will click on the send button. Here we are getting the response. Hello, means it's working properly. Let's go back to our index.js file. We can also provide the status. So now we will create another folder to handle all our routes. So I will create a new folder, routes, and inside that I will create a file for user routes. So first we will require the Express. Then we call the router, express.router method. Then we will go back to our index.js. I am removing this app.get method and paste it here. Now we don't have the app, we will use the router, and then we'll export this router so we can use it in the other files. Now we will go to our index.js, and here we will provide the path for that user router. So we call the use method and pass our end URL, and we'll provide the path, require a router. Inside that router folder we have the user.js file. Now let's go back to our Postman and hit the URL. Here we are getting the same response as before, means it's working fine. So next we will install the MongoDB. I have already installed. I will show you how to install. Go to their website, and here you can simply select the version, platform, and package, and click on the download button. Then after the installation you can see this MongoDB compass. Click on the connect, and here you can see that databases which have already there, admin config local. So let's go back to our VS Code. I will create a new folder called config. Now inside that folder I will create one file, db connection. So we will see how we can connect our application to the MongoDB. But for that we need to install the Mongoose. So first we will install it. Let's say npm i mongoose. It will take some time. Then we'll first require that mongoose. Then we will define one method, connect db. Let's make it async method because it will return the promise. So we'll say await mongoose.connect, and we will pass the connection string we need to pass here. So .env, here I will provide the connection string here. Let's go to our compass here. Here you can see I will copy this connection string from here and paste it here, and will provide our database name. This auth demo will be my database name. Now here we pass that connection string. Let's say process.env. What was that connection string? Let me copy this and paste it here. Now this will return the promise. Then we call the then. If it is resolved, that means the database is connected successfully. So here I will simply console log message database connected successfully. If we get some error, so to handle that we will add a catch block. So here, if we get any error, then we will exit the process. So we will say process.exit. Now we will export this function connectDB. Now we go back to our index.js. First we will require that connectDB from config. Now we will call that connectDB method. Here I will call it. Now in the console here you can see database connected successfully. You can see the message, means our database is connected successfully. So next we will create the user schema. So let's create a new folder, model. Inside that I will create a model for user. So I call it user.js. So first we require the mongoose. This schema is basically our table structure. Let me define the user schema. Mongoose has one method schema which will take the object. I will pass the timestamp also. We'll make this timestamp true. So it will return the created and updated date. So basically in this schema we define what are the fields we want in our table. So I want a username and this type is string and this field is required. So required true. I will copy this. Now next I want the email, and I will add a unique property here. I want this email must be unique for each user. Then password. Now we have the three fields: username, email and password. Now let's export this model. So we will say module.export. For that in Mongoose we have the method model. We will call that model method, and here we give the name for our collection. Collection is nothing but the table. This user will be our collection name, and we pass the user schema. Now we go back to our routes here. First we will see the sign up. So I will change the endpoint here. We'll say sign up. Similarly we'll go to our index.js. Our routes will start with the users. So here I will say user/user. Now I will create the new folder called controllers, which contains all our logic, request, response. Inside that we create the controller for user. Here we define one method. Let's say user sign up. Simply we'll go and got this method from here and paste it here. Now we will export this user sign up method. Now we'll go back to our user route. Here we require that user sign up. Now you can see our code is more cleaner and readable. And this user sign up, we pass it here. Then we'll go to the Postman and check. Now our URL is user/signup. Hit on the send button. Now here you can see we are getting the same response as before. Means it's working perfectly. So next we will create the user in database. We have already created the user model, so we'll require it here. Inside the model folder we have the user. So in request.body we are passing the email, password, username. So here I am destructuring that. We will receive this from request.body. Then first we check if that username, email and password is empty or not. If it is empty, then we will send the response 400 bad request. We will send the JSON message. We can say all fields are mandatory. Then we will create the user.create method we will call and pass that username, email and password which we have received from request body. And now let's make this method async. Now here I am passing the username, email and password. It will create a new user and store it in a variable user, and I am simply returning the response this user. Now we will check if that user is already exist or not. So here I am defining one variable exist user check. Await user dot find one. As we know, the email is unique for every user, so we will check pass the email here. Then we check exist user check. If that user is exist with the given email, it means user is already there. So we simply return the response 400 bad request and we'll say user already exist. Now everything is done. So we simply go to our Postman, and this is the post method. So let me change the method name. Yeah, it's get here. Let's create the post method. Now I will select the post body here, select the JSON, and here we have passed the JSON body username. Just giving any random username, then email, then we have the password field, click on send. Here I'm getting one error, so let's check what is the error. Here it say destructure the username. Okay, so basically it's not able to read that JSON request body. So here if I show you, here we console log that request.body. Let's check what we get. Click on the send. Here you can see this is undefined. So first we need to add the one middleware in our index.js so we can read the JSON body which we are passing. So we'll say express.json. Now we will go back and click on the send. Here we get the response, the user which we have created. Because of that timestamp, here we get the date created and updated time. Now, but if you notice, we store the password in a plain format 123. This is not the right way, so we will hash the password. So we'll install one library npm I bcrypt. We will use the bcrypt to hash our password. So let's require that bcrypt. Here I will create one variable hash password, and bcrypt has a method hash. It will take the password and a salt round 100, not 100, I will say 10. Then not instead of passing the password, we will pass this hash password. Now if I go back to the Postman, let me change the name, username. Email I will say pooja@gmail.com and click on send. Here we are getting the response. Now here you can see password stored in a hash. Now next I will send the same request. Click on the send. So it will return the user already exists because this email is already exists. Now I will remove the password. Here I am getting one error, so let's check what is the error. Let's go to our terminal. Here duplicate key error because that email must be unique, and so for that we are getting this error, means it's working. So let me restart the server. Control C, npm start. Let's go back, and here I am not passing the password and changing this email, and click on the send. We will get the message, yeah, all fields are mandatory. 400 status, means it's working fine. Now we will go back. Next we will use one template engine, EJS. Let me install first. So we'll say npm I EJS. It will install the latest package. Now there are other template engines are available like handlebars, Perk, but this in this demo I'm using the EJS. It basically helps us to create a HTML template. So first we have to tell which view engine we are using. So we will set view engine we are using is EJS. Then I will create one folder, views. Under this folder we will store all our EJS files. So we need to provide the path for that views folder. First I will require the path module, which is an inbuilt module. Then we will set the path for that views folder. We'll say path.resolve, and then we'll provide the path for our views folder. Now next I will go to that views and will create one page, home.ejs, and for that I have installed one extension. I will show you EJS language support. You can install it. Now here I will simply create a basic HTML structure first and add one h1 tag and write home. Then I will create a static router. So inside that routes folder I will create another file, static router.js. Let's go inside it. Now we need these two things. I will copy and paste it here. Then we will define the route. Get will pass the slash and then one callback function, request response, and response I will return it to the home page. So I will pass the response dot render method and pass the home which we have just created inside our views. Then we will export this route. Now let's go to the index and provide the path for that static router. So we'll say app.use and require from the routes. Now we'll go back and hit the URL. Here you can see on a slash we are rendering this home page. It's working fine. Now under the views folder we will create another page for the sign up. Same, first I will create a HTML structure and EJS, Node.js, extension is EJS. I'll add a h1 tag and say sign up. Before that I will show you how we can add a styling in EJS. So I will create another folder, public, and inside that public folder we'll create a file .css file, style.css, and here I will give the in body, I will give the background color red and go to the home page. Here we will add the reference. So add a link, style sheet, and href, and we will pass that path style.css. Now we'll go to the index.js and here we have to tell the public folder path, static path. So we add one middleware app.use. So here we will say express.static and pass our folder name public. Now we go to the browser, refresh. Here you can see the background color is red. So this is how we can add a styling. Here I have already written all the CSS. I will copy this and paste it here. Don't worry about that. I will paste a link in description. So we'll go back to our static router and I will create another route for the sign up and will render to our sign up page. Now if I go back and hit on the sign up. Here you can see the sign up page. Now next we will go to the sign up and we will add some HTML, create one form. So user can provide the username, email and password. So add a div and class I will pass the container. In our style.css we have this class container. Now I will add another div and provide a class inner box. We'll give the title register, then create one form, class called form group, add a label. First is username, then provide an input, type will be text, then I will provide a name property username, and this username and in our schema we have created this field, this must be the same. U is small letter, so I will change it. Now this input field is required, so add a required, and same I will copy this. Now here we will say email, type will be email and username will be, we will change it to the email. Now third one is a password. Now change the type will be password, name will be password, and this field is required. Now I will add a div for the button, add a class button group. Now I add a submit button, type will be submit. Then we will add a action. So when user click on the submit, will redirect to this URL. So we will say /user/signup. This is the endpoint where we create our users, and this method is post. If I show you this in our routes, we have this post method sign up where we are creating the users. So let me go back, refresh. Here you can see we have the auth demo database and currently we have the 2 users. So let's go back to the browser. Styling is not added, so let me check. Here we haven't provided this link reference, so let me copy and paste it here. Now if we go back, here you can see now it looks nice. So let me provide any random username, email and password 1 2 3 4 5. Click on the submit. Here it say all fields are mandatory. Okay, because it's not able to read the data from that form. So for that, not able to read the data from the form, so in our index.js we need to add one middleware so we can read the data from form. We'll say add.use express.url encoded, and we will pass one object extended true. Now we go back, hit on submit. Now here you can see it returning the user as a response. If I show you, let's go back. In this user sign up here we are returning the user as a response. Instead of that, we will redirect to our home page. So we will go back. User already exists. Okay, we will create a new user. So this user has already exist, so we will get that duplicate error message. So let me restart the server again. npm start. So let's go back, and now I will create a new user. Email and provide a password 12345. Click on submit. Here we redirect to the home page. Now it's working fine. So let's go back to VS Code. Now we will see the login. So first I will create a method for user login, which receive the request response. This will be async method. So now inside this user login, first we will destructure our request body. We are passing the email and password in request body. So first we will destructure it. Then we will check if that email is exist or not in our database. Use this user module. Await user.find1 method will call and pass the email. Email is unique for every user. Then we will check if that user is exist or not. If that user doesn't exist, then we will return the response user not found, status code 404. I'm returning one JSON response, user not found. And then if that user is exist, then here if you remember, we store the password in the hash. So we have to check in bcrypt we have the function compare, so it will compare that password, hash password, with the user provided password. So here we pass the password and the password which store in database. If it is true, then we simply redirect to the home page. Now we will create one static router for this login. So I will copy and paste it, and will say when user hit on this login, we will render to the login page which we haven't created yet. Then let me add a method route for that, a login route. In our user.js, we'll create a post method login, and we pass that user login method. Also will require that user login. I think we haven't export that method, so here let me export that user login. Now here we have created the route post method for the login, and here for the get method which will redirect to the login page. So under the views folder, we'll create a login page. Then here if I show you here, you can see the same code we are repeating in all the files. So instead of repeating the same code, we can create a partials. So let me create a folder partials. Inside that I will add a file head.js. What I will do, I will go to the home, and let me copy this after the meta tag and rename that title. This is our home page. Now if you see this 3 tag, I will copy this and paste this here. Then we will go to our home.EJS and we will include that here. So we'll select the tag include. Here I am getting that suggestions because I have installed that extension here, EJS language support. Now we go back to our home.js, and here I am passing the path for that partials. So in our case it's not a very big file, but I just want to show you how we can use the partials. Now if I go home, it's working as before. Let's do this for all the files. Then change the title, sign up. In login page also we will do the same, include the path and change the title. Let's say login. I will go to the sign up page and I will copy this all the things and paste it here. So we don't need that username, so I will remove that. And in action I will pass our login path, so user/login. If I show you, in here we have the route/login. If I show you this user login method, here what we did, we check if that user is exist or not. If it is exist, then we compare the password and then redirect to the home page. Now let's check the login page. I will redirect to the login page. Here we see the register. Let's change the title, go back to our login page, and here I will rename it to login. Let's go to the browser, refresh. Now we can see the login. Now let me enter the correct email and password and click on submit. Now we redirect to our home page. Now I will change this email which does not exist in our database, then submit. Here you can see user not found because that email does not exist in our database. Now if you notice one thing, let me go back to our home page. This home page anyone can access. Now this is the public route. I will make it protected. I want to allow only users who is authorized to access this home page. For that I will use the JWT token. So let's go back to our VS Code and install the JSON web token. We will generate the token and then we will verify, and if user is authorized, then only we will allow the user to access the home page. Now in our here, first we will require that JWT token. Go to our user login. Here when user is present in our database and we compare the hash, and if it is true, then we will generate the token. JWT has method sign which will return the token. We need to pass the payload and secret key as parameter. So here I am passing the user email, then username and ID in payload. Also we need to pass the secret key, so let's go to our .env and here I am create the secret key. I am just giving the any random key. Now go back to our, I will copy the secret key and go back to our user.js, and here I am paste that secret key. Now next it will generate the token and then we will store that token in cookie. So we will say response.cookie and we will pass the our generated token. In token variable we will save that token. To read that cookie we need to install one package, cookie parser. So let me install that, npm I cookie parser. Once it installed, we will require the cookie parser in our index.js. Here I will say const cookie equal to require cookie parser. So let's say cookie parser. Here I will add a middleware app.use and we call the cookie parser here. Now we go back to our user.js. Here what we did, we compare the password. If it is matched, then we will generate the token and save it in a cookie and redirect to our home page. So let's check if it is working or not. Let me open the application. Inside that we have the cookies. I am entering the correct email and password. Submit. Nothing happened. I am getting one error. So let's check. If I go to the terminal, here it says secret key is not defined. So let's go to the our user.js and check. Yeah, here I have made the mistakes. It should be process.env.secret key. Now let's go back, enter the correct email and password. We redirect to the home page and token is also generated. Here you can see the token has generated. Let me copy this and then we will go to our JWT.io. I will paste our token here. Now you can see in the payload we send this data, email, username and ID. This JWT token has a 3 part. First one is a header which contain the algo and type is JWT. Then second one is a payload which we have sent while generating the token, email, username and ID, and verify signature which is stored a secret key. Only using that secret key we can make the changes. If I made any changes in that payload, you can see token is changing. So no one can change a data until and unless they have our secret key. So let's go back to our VS Code. Next we will verify the token. So for that first I will create a middleware. Now inside that middleware folder I will create one file to verify the token. Call it auth.js. First we will require the JWT JSON web token. Then we will create one function, call it validate token. This will be the async function. Then first we will get the token from the cookies. So we'll say request.cookie.token. We will store that token in token variable. Now let me show you. I will console log the token here, and also here we pass the next. So next will call the next middleware and we call that function. So it will call the next middleware. Then we'll export this validate token so we can use it in other files also. So let's go to our static route and here I will pass that validate token. So we will make our home route protected. Only the authorized user will be access our home page. So first we check if that token is valid or not, and then only we will render to the home page. We will require that validate token from middleware. Now let me go back to our browser and I will hit the URL. Let me enter the correct password, click on submit. I redirect to the home page and console log. We can see the token, means we get the token successfully. So let's go to the auth. Now we have the token. So first we check if the token is there, then we will verify that token. For that JWT has method verify, and it will take the token and secret key. So let pass that secret key, process.env.secret key, and also it take one callback function. Error and decoded. This contain the payload which we have sent while generating the token. Now if we get the error, then we will return the response unauthorized user. Add a status code 401 and return an JSON response. I'm adding one message, user is not authorized. Then we simply store this data we receive in decoded. This is basically the payload. So I will say request.user equal to decoded. Instead user, I will say user data. Here I have made one mistake. You can see this callback function. This is basically arrow function, so I forget to add that arrow. Let me put the arrow there. Yeah, now error is gone. Then we will call the next, so it will call the next middleware, and if token is not there, then we will add the else part. I will remove that next, and we will return this message, user is not authorized, if the token is not found. Now I will show you this decoded value we store in that user data. We'll go back to our static router, and here we receive that value. So I will console log here request.user data. Let me go to the browser, and if I will delete this token. Now we don't have a token, and hit the URL. Here you can see user is not authorized. Yeah, it's working fine. Now let me add the correct password and click on the submit. Now we get the token is verified, and we redirect to our home page. Now in the console, here you can see this is the data we have sent while generating the token. Next, what I will do, I will send this data to our home page. For that, I will add a object. Here I will pass that data, request.user data. Remove this console log and go to our home page. Here we are receiving that data we have sent. Inside this h1 tag, heading tag, I am adding the username, then adding the EJS syntax, and we simply display that username we have received, user.username. I will copy this line, and we will display the email also. So say user.email. Now here I will log in again. Click on the submit. Here you can see username and email has been displayed here. Now I will give a short summary what we did. We go to the static route, render the home, and pass this user data. We'll come back to our home page and display it using this EJS syntax. You can install the extension that I have already shown. Then next we want to render the pop-up message when the user credentials are not valid and user is not authorized. Then we will display the pop-up message. For that I will use the module connect flash. Here I will copy this Express session package we require for that. So let's install that npm i express session. Before that and also npm i flash we need, so let me install that also. Then I go to the browser and I delete this token, and if I directly hit on the home page, here we are getting the response user is not authorized. So it's working fine. Now next we'll go to the index.js. So first we need to require what we have installed. So let's say session equal to require express session. Then we will also require the connect flash. If you want more information regarding that express session and connect flash, you can go to the documentation. They have mentioned everything. You can go through it. Now I'm copying this thing we needed and paste it here. And then I will change the secret value. You can give anything. Then we have the resave, that forcefully save the session even if it was not modified. Then we have the save uninitialize. I will make it true. Now inside the cookie we will pass the value property max age. This will take the number in millisecond. This is basically set the specified the expire set cookie attribute. I have made a mistake here. It should be 6000 because we are the number in millisecond. Then we will add a middleware for the flash. We call that flash. Now we added the both the things. Now we will go back to our controllers user.js where we have defined our user login method. Now here if that user doesn't exist, then here I am returning the response, JSON response user not found. So I will comment out. Instead of that, what I will do, I will return the request flash request and we pass the our error message. Let's say user not found, and then we will redirect to a login page. If user not found, then we will redirect to login page. Now we will go to our static router. Here we render this login. Here we receive that message we have sent. So we will say message request.flash and we pass that the error. This should be same, this error, and we have used if I show you here in flash message, this error key should be same. Now we go to our login page. Here I will add a if statement. We'll check if that message length is greater than 0. Then we will display the pop-up. I will add one div and class name, say alert. Now let's go to the browser. Here we are getting one error, so let me go back to the VS Code. Scroll down and here we are getting one error. It say cannot find the module connect flash. Yeah, earlier we have installed the flash, so we have to install this connect flash. So let me install that connect flash module. Then we will require connect flash. Then next we'll go to our browser, go to our login page, refresh. Error is not defined, we are getting another error. So let me go back to our static router where we are getting this error. So here this error in double quote, so let me put it double quote. Now refresh. Yeah, now it's working. So let me enter the correct email and password. Let me add a wrong password and click on the submit. Here you can see user not found because that email does not exist in database. Now we will add another pop-up. What if that user enter the wrong credentials? So we'll go to our method user define, and here if that user not found, that password doesn't match, so we will return the flash request, and here we will say invalid credentials. Now I will enter the wrong email and password and click on submit. Here we are getting the message invalid credentials, means it's working fine. Now I will enter the correct email and password. Password is 12345 and then submit. Here we redirect to the home page, means it's working fine. So now let's go to our VS Code. Next we will see when user is not authorized, then we will redirect him to the login page. So let's go to our author.js, and here I will comment it out and will say if user is not authorized, redirect him to the login page. So let's go to the browser and check if it is working or not. First I will check if I have stored any token. So let me delete this first. Now I am directly try to access the home page. Here you can see we redirect to the login page because that user don't have any token, so validation failed. Only authorized user will able to access our home page. Now I will go to our sign up page and create a new user here. Enter the username Pooja, then email, just entering any random email. Password 12345 and click on the submit. Here I redirect to the login page because validation failed. Now I want to redirect to the home page once I sign up. So for that we need to generate the token. So I will copy this JWT sign in and all these things and paste it in our sign up function. Now I will go back here in the database. Here you can see our author demo database. I will delete that. So now we don't have any user. Let's go back to our sign up page and create a new user. Let me refresh. Pooja, email ID and password. Click on submit. Here you can see now we redirect to our login page, and if I show you, here we have the token. We verify the token and then we redirect to our home page. Now only authenticated user will able to access our home page. This is all about authentication. I hope you like this video and learned something new. If you did, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the National Engineering. Thank you for watching.